Hi, this is Donna Cruz with Savvy Technologies, and I'm here today with John Gonzalez. John is the Director of Mobility Services for Wireless Watchdogs.
Everybody, thanks for having me, Don.
Yeah, thanks for being here, John. So, John and I are doing a four-part series, and this is our final portion or final series. And today we're going to be talking about mobile device security. So, mobile device security is just what it sounds like, right? If you have hundreds of mobile devices out there and you don't have a very solid solution attached to them that's focused specifically on the arena of mobility, you are leaving yourself open to a lot of opportunities for data breach. So this is really that, headline avoidance. We want to focus on real risks and smart defense. So, John, why are mobile devices such a huge security risk for businesses today?
I like the that line, headline avoidance. Really good. So here's the biggest issue as far as security risk for businesses. They carry company data, okay, and they're easy to lose, steal, or hack, misplace. And why this has been is now such a huge concern is what cyber insurance companies are calling out on mobile devices, and this is directly from the underwriters, is this. If a mobile device is not centrally managed with MDM, along with MFA, and
Mhm.
continuously patched for compliance, and if not, and that it's an entry point for a cyber incident, your claims are null and void. And then they're going to look for ways to not pay. So it's very important. Chief information security officers, risk management, they're all looking at ways to lock down these devices. So think of Microsoft Intune, okay, SODI, Jamf, Mobile Iron, Ivanti, used to be AirWatch, Omnissa. These are all security softwares that actually you can put on the devices. Not only does it help with ease of deployment, but it's able to lock down devices. Hey, do you only want corporate information to be there from 8 to 5? At 5:01, it's gone. Do you want us to disable the camera? You want to geofence the device. If it leaves a certain vicinity, all the corporate information's out. So this is where a lot of businesses are coming because these devices are in everybody's hands now, and they really need to be locked down from a cybersecurity, but more importantly, so they don't become that headline right in the news to where you guys have been hacked, you know?
Yeah, very true. So, what are the top security threats companies overlook with mobile devices?
Yeah. Top one, unsecured apps, weak passwords, outdated software, devices connecting to unsafe Wi-Fi at Starbucks or McDonald's. That's where we see the most. That and what we're also seeing is most companies, what they need to do is also get mobile threat detection. Okay. When they're in these unsafe Wi-Fi places. So those are the top threats, right? Unsecured apps and passwords and software and devices connecting to Wi-Fi.
And I remember having this conversation with my customers where I'm saying, if someone is sitting in your corporate office and they're on their PC, right? And they have, let's pretend they have the highest level of access to all applications and that sort of thing. That's great. But when they're in a coffee shop, right? They're it needs to know, right? Whatever your company's security solution is, it needs to not just know who they are, but where they are and what they're using, right? And then how much access it's going to dole out based on that. Not just who it is, right? But where they're, coming in from. So, great point. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so you nailed it.
Yeah. So, how does mobility security change when a company has a BYOD, a bring your own device
Yeah.
environment?
Yes. So the company loses control, right? So data needs to be protected. Obviously, the employees are worried about, hey, I don't want my, personal information out there. But there's a way to set it up hybrid to where, personal and company data is kept separate, but they're accessing corporate information. Okay. So you have to have security on those devices because, if you don't, that's the biggest entry point because those devices are not really locked down. It's their own device. They can be doing all kinds of different things, going to different websites, right? To where you never know. So it's really important that if they're going to do the BYOD, and what we do see now, a lot of corporations are getting away from BYOD because of this, because of the cyber insurance and patching and all that other stuff.
Yeah, it definitely opens a hole in your security uh, policy. And the other thing I would say about it is From what I've been reading, there's a lot of states now that in are so the states regulate this, right? And they say, okay, if you tell your employee Donna Cruz that she has to have a mobile device to work for you, right? That she pays for, by state, it varies who's going to make you pay that employee a stipend and what they're going to make you pay. So
Yep.
now you have to keep up with 50 states, regulatory environments, and reimbursement plans. And if you don't, you're going to find yourself sideways with somebody and out of compliance.
Yeah, you can Google it now. California lawsuits around BYOD. You'll have a laundry list of stuff happening. So you got to be, the companies also got to protect themselves.
Yeah, now you have another, just a whole other area of compliance that you're trying to keep up with. And again, just like everything else, it's ever changing.
Right.
Great point. So, what role does remote wiping, updates, hardware restrictions, et cetera, play in protecting data, John?
Well, they keep the devices patched. Okay, they block risky behavior. And we can remote in and erase data instantaneously if a device goes missing. The executive leaves a tablet in the Uber, right? And
Hmm.
you can get in there and immediately wipe the device clean, so nobody can get access to that. So that's huge, right? When you're
Yeah.
able to wipe that device down.
And then what about in terms of like updates and hardware restriction? How does that help protect data?
Well, updates, if you're not up to date, security software is not going to give all the patches, right? And as far as the hardware side of the house, same thing. If you have outdated, and we see this a lot. Like I had an assessment last week, they had iPhone 6s, okay, iPhone 7s that actually can't even connect and get the new iOS updates, let alone have security patches. So that's the hardware restriction. You have to be up to date, kind of with the latest and greatest to make sure that your devices and your data is protected.
Yeah. I'm just thinking of a saying. I grew up in the Midwest on a farm, and my grandparents used to say things like tripping over dollars, chasing after dimes.
Yeah.
And I think nothing that's true, more true nowhere than in the mobility aspect, right? Where people are, they're running after a dime and they're leaving these huge holes, be it expenses or security or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, so again, sort of like your last episode where you give us a tip, what's one security practice you'd want every company to adopt by the end of this month?
I would definitely make sure, and I know there's a lot of companies that either have this and they have it and they only use it to push out an app, maybe a remote wiper device, and or there's companies that are looking to implement it because of the security. So one thing that I'll let you know is get MDM, mobile device management. If you are a Microsoft Office shop and you have the Business Premier, the Microsoft Office E3 or E5 licensing, you already have Intune. It's already there for you, right? Hire or get a company and to come build that policy environment based on your business needs, co-manage it with you, right? And that way you can stay in compliance because one bad move and one, entry point can cost the company substantially. So that's what I would say. Make sure that your devices have MDM along with MFA to make sure that one, you can push out policies, right? You can have one unified, Apple ID to control all your devices. It's just a better way to kind of manage these going forward from a security aspect.
And John, if somebody's gone out and purchased MDM, but they don't really have time to set up, really author a security policy and really understand all the different aspects of it, will wireless watchdogs work with a company that already has MDM to manage or co-manage that solution?
Yes.
Okay, good. That's a great answer.
Whether they have it in place or whether they're looking to see which MDM is going to be best for them, all those, come to an expert like Wireless
Yeah,
Watch will help you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that concludes our video series on mobility managed services. John, thanks again for joining me and appreciate all of the insight that you were able to lend.
Thank you so much. You take care.